Hello there, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Passioknit Kelsie and this is another very passionate vlog. If you guys have been around for a while, you may know that for the past 3 years, I have posted a New Year's resolutions video in January for 2024, 2025, and 2026. Normally I go over what my goals were for the last year, did we complete those goals, and then I talk about what my new goals are. So recently someone asked me / reminded me, how are your goals going for 2026? And I just completely forgot. Basically, I went back, I looked at my goals, and they're going okay. But we're 8 months in, so I'd say the progress is pretty slow. The goal that I would like to work on today was to write at least 2 patterns for the year. It's August. I haven't written a single pattern this year. I don't expect to write 2 full patterns within this video, but I at least want to set aside multiple days and just fully work on writing patterns. I have one big pattern that I want to work on for sure. It's for a treble crochet sweater. I made a couple of them last year and been thinking about writing a pattern ever since. Other than that, I want to pick something small because the sweater is going to be a lot of work, and so the second pattern needs to be smaller and less work. So I have released a few video tutorials as far as this year goes. That includes the Hot Granny Summer Tote Bag that came out just 2 weeks ago. Granny Square Fingerless Gloves, that was 6 months ago. And no, that's it. Okay, those are the only 2 things that I guess I have designed and made tutorials for this year that are relatively smaller, easier projects. What I'm thinking I can get done, and it's the beginning of the video, so my sights are usually set a little higher than what I can actually achieve. I think I can finish completely one of the smaller patterns and get at least a small to medium amount of work done on the bigger sweater pattern. At least that's what I would like to do. So let's get started writing patterns for 2026. Looking at both of these smaller projects that I was talking about earlier, the one that is calling my name the most at the moment would be the Hot Granny Tote Bag, mainly because the pattern is going to be easier to write and it's fresh in my memory. Also, I would like to make another one, to be honest, and I don't really feel like making a pair of fingerless gloves. So we're just going to start there. Hot Granny Tote Bag, number 1. I'm going to, first of all, get on to Google Slides. That's where I write my patterns. I have a pattern outline, so I'm just going to make a copy of that, and I'm going to start filling in the basic information. So, title page, Hot Granny Tote. There's a table of contents, which I'll fill out at the end after we have the page numbers and everything. On to the first page, which has materials, terminology, gauge, important information, and there's a section for sizing, but do we need that? Yeah, I guess I'll put the size of the finished tote bag. Sure. 5mm hook, 8.7 ounces cotton yarn, darning needle, stitch markers, and that's it. Okay, terminology, chain. There's single crochets, double crochet, gauge. Do I have a gauge? No, I'll have to work up a gauge. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this so that I know to come back. Moving on. Important information is pretty much always the same. Feel free to sell finished projects made using this pattern. Tag me on social media, blah, blah, blah. Sizing information, I'm going to highlight that. So I'll come back and put in the size of the finished tote bag. Okay, moving on to next page, which is the written instructions. At this point, what I usually do is make the thing while I'm writing the pattern, because that just works the best for me, which means I need some yarn. I choose bamboo. I prefer making this bag in a solid color, and mustard yellow is one of my favorites. Looking at my desk, I realize I chose the same color for both of these projects, and that's fine. Didn't do that on purpose, really. Okay, before starting, there is an important information section. Important information for this pattern would be Chain 2 at beginning of rounds does not count as a double crochet. And turn your work between rows. I think that's it. And then we can start row 1. So I do have like a base pattern written out. This is the very extremely simplified version of a pattern that I usually write for myself whenever I design something new. And I have that open so I can look at it for reference while I'm writing the for public pattern, which is obviously a lot more in depth than the notes I have for myself. I just realized I used a stacked single crochet, so I need to go back and put that in the terminology. Okay, coming back to writing it out. Chain 39, stacked single crochet, double crochet 37. I think that's right. Row 1 is written. I will now make row 1 and just double check myself basically. Oh, and I also do this so that I can take pictures along the way that can go into the pattern later. Row 1 seems to be accurate, but that's easy. Moving on to row 2. Okay. Chain 2. Okay, I think, all right. The tricky part is like figuring out how to write this as short and as like professional as possible, because in a video tutorial, it's really easy. You just like go into this space here, but you can't really do that in a pattern. So I would say chain 2, skip 1, double crochet 3 between posts. I think that's the best way to say it. Yeah, because that's what you do. You chain 2, skip the first double crochet, and then put 3 double crochets in this space between the posts. Yes, and then the repeat starts. So brackets. All right, I need to put skip into the terminology too. SK. Skip 3. 1, 2, 3. Double crochet 3 between posts. Close bracket, and then repeat bracket. How many more times? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. 11. Okay, I like to do not 11 times because it's 11 times total, but I like to do the brackets because the first time you read the brackets, that'll be number 1, and then I do repeat, and I'll say 10 more times because you just did it once in the bracket, and then you do it 10 more times. So in total, there's 11. Okay, I need to take a picture of this. Slip stitch. Terminology. How could I forget? Okay, I think that's row 2 complete. Row 2 seems to be written and completed. Oh, actually, I need to put in a final row count. 28 times 3 plus 4. You count chains as stitches, I guess so. 88. 88 stitches. Okay. And that's pretty much how my pattern writing goes. I write the row, I make the row, sometimes at the same time, sometimes going back and forth. Take pictures as I go. I always overtake pictures because you can always take pictures out of a pattern if you feel like you don't need them later, but you can't go back and take pictures after you've made the bag. I mean, you can if you make a whole nother bag, but don't waste time. So I'm just gonna continue this process. Right now it's 4:30. I have a couple hours. I have some plans tonight to do a live stream with my friend Zach. So I'm just going to work on this until the live stream for the next few hours, see how far we can get. This is really reminding me how much typing out granny stitch sucks compared to like how simple it really is and how many words you need. It's a lot. Although maybe some people would just do the granny stitch. I'm technically writing this as if you had never heard of the granny stitch before, so it's a lot more work. Guys, I actually just remembered that I did exactly what I was just talking about in the hexagon cardigan pattern. I put a little blurb at the beginning of what the granny stitch is, and then in the rest of the pattern, I just put follow the granny stitch, which I think was necessary for a pattern of that size, but this bag is going to be very short, so I don't think I need to do that. I just haven't written a pattern in so long. I have forgotten all of my techniques. I really need to write these more often. Try to get better at that. So I've gotten to the point where I pretty much just need to work on the bag until I get to the next point in the pattern where I have to start writing, because the base is done. The pattern for the base is written. Now we're working the sides of the bag, which is just a repeat row. Put that row in the pattern, done. And I just need to crochet up the sides and finish the repeat until I get to the straps, which will be the next part that I have to write. I have 1 hour until Zach's live stream starts, so I'm just going to be sitting here granny stitching away, and I probably will get to the straps sometime tomorrow.
Me off now. We have a lot of cars to sell.
All right, well, I just got off live stream with Zach. I made another little pig. And I am just pooped. I am gonna take the rest of the night off. This is how far I got on the bag. I wish I could have gotten a little farther, but my shoulders and my arm is starting to hurt, so I'm just gonna be done and we'll come back tomorrow. All right, another day of work ensues. I've actually been really busy this morning, so we're not getting started until 6 p.m. My only goal for today pretty much is to complete the rest of the body rows on this bag right here. I need to get to row 25. Currently, I'm on row 15, so seems completely doable. I'll keep you updated. Mission accomplished. All of the bag sides are done. Now I need to write the strap pattern, which shouldn't be too hard. I think the straps are relatively easy, and out of the 25 rows, once we get up to row 14, after that, the last 11 are just repeat rows. So, well, actually, most of the rows are the same, except they're just going to go down by one repeat each time. So actually, I might just have to write the same thing over and over and over again, but fewer repeats. Anyway, I don't think it's going to be hard. I am starting to think I'm going to run out of yarn, but I have some more. I think it'll be fine. It's just a different color lot, and I'm hoping that's not super noticeable. So I'll be doing the same thing writing the pattern, working the rows, going back and forth, taking pictures, because that's important. And I think, hoping, cross our fingers, we can get the straps done today. I only need to make one strap to actually write the pattern since the straps are the same. After that, the only thing left would be the single crochet outlines. And I guess I'll have to describe how to connect the straps at the top. I did it in a weird way in the video tutorial, and I really like it when the video tutorials match the written patterns, so I'll have to probably be creative with that. Let's get to work. Strap done, at least one of them. I was right. Writing it was not very hard. So from rows 1 to 6, here to here, those are all just the same thing, except for it has a smaller repeat. So copy paste rows 1 to 6, repeat 7 times, 6 times, 5, 4, 3. Easy. This middle portion from here to here, rows 8 to 14, got a little bit more tricky just because the decreases are every 2 rows instead of every row like the first 6 rows. So, but I guess it's kind of a 3-row repeat. So I just had to do those 3 rows twice, 3 times, something like that. And then from here up, it's 2 rows repeating. So that was easy. And there we go. I took pictures of every row along the way. I don't think I'm going to need every picture, but yeah. Okay, now repeat all steps for strap number 2. But on the second one, don't cut off the yarn. My plan for the rest of the day, because it is 6 o'clock. It's also Saturday, and this video is for Monday, so I don't know how much more I'm going to get done. But I am going to keep crocheting strap number 2 until I get to the connection point. I don't think I'll have enough light to continue taking pattern photos, so I'm going to stop there for the night. And I don't know, I might just take the rest of the night off after I finish that. It'll probably be like 7-ish by then. Yeah, basically I'm just going to make strap number 2 and then we will finish this up tomorrow. I was gonna say I could spend the rest of my night after I finish this strap working on the sweater, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't really feel like it. We are very close to the end of this pattern. I am going to go ahead and pull up the video tutorial that I made, use it as a reference while I am writing the next bit of the pattern, because like I was talking about, I did something weird and I'm going to try to make them match. If I can, write it that way. I actually don't remember what I did exactly, so I'm going to watch the tutorial. I was feeling silly this day. Like this across the top here. Make sure none of it is twisted or anything. And then we're going to start doing a single crochet around the opening on this side over here. Okay. So first thing I need to do is line up the top of your straps. Line up the top of strap 1 and strap 2. Photo evidence. in the first single crochet but backwards. All right, well, I watched the video. I think I've typed it out in a understandable way. I have finished the bag. I have taken all of my pictures. So we're 90% done. What I need to do now is finishing touches on writing the pattern, which is basically a couple more steps to write at the very end, which is just like cut your yarn, connect it with the invisible sewing thing. Does that have a name? Can't remember. Anyway, I need to edit all the photos and I need to actually put them in the pattern. Also need to do a gauge swatch, put that in the pattern, and put in the finished bag size measurements, which I can do right now, just because I've got the finished bag on me. "16 inches wide. It's about 12 inches tall from the bag opening to the bottom of the bag. And then if you add in the straps, it's 21 inches. But, I mean, the straps move, so the 12 is more important. So 16 by 12. 12 inches depth, 16 inches wide. So editing all the pictures and putting them in the pattern is going to take a little while, probably a couple hours, and then I will read through the pattern, do any finishing touches that I feel like it needs, and then usually I like to make another bag entirely with the final written pattern, just going through it line by line and double checking myself, because I don't actually think I'm going to get this tested necessarily, because it is a relatively easy pattern. There's no sizing involved. I did the same thing with the kelp bucket hat and the double-stranded knit beanie pattern. Pretty sure I didn't test those. So, yeah, I should be able to have the pattern done today. I am going to begin editing the photos, deciding which ones I need, what's the most important, where they're going to fit in the pattern, moving them around, making it look pretty, stuff like that. So, excuse me while I do computer work. I think I'm done. There we go. First official pattern of 2026 finished. Written pattern, that is. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good. It took a little bit longer than expected, I guess. It's definitely helping me get back into the flow of pattern writing. What I really need to do is just always have a pattern being written in the background. I think that would be best, just to kind of like stay on it, because what I usually do is write a pattern and then just do absolutely nothing for months and months and months, and then every time I want to write a new pattern, I feel like I have to refresh myself because I haven't done it in so long. Anyway, that is going to be the end of this vlog, because like I said, it's Sunday and this video comes out tomorrow. We did not get to work on the sweater pattern at all, but we shall continue the pattern writing series and do this one next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me in the future. The pattern is written, but like I said, I think I'm just going to make one more bag, go through it line by line, make sure everything is fully set and good before I upload it to my website. So if you don't see it yet, that's why. I need one more final proof check. But I am taking the rest of my night off because that was a lot. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!